We're rolling. Share my screen. And we're on. And beginning. Beginning. All right. And we're good to go. All right. Well, today our interview went very good. I feel like I connected to you on various different levels. Your resume was spot on to everything that we did. You would really be a great addition to the team here. But there's just one thing. Your hair. I'm gonna need you to change it. It's just too much. It's too wild. It's too free. I need you to straighten it maybe. Or you can even wear one of those cool hats or something, the style trends. You're really stylish. Even if you want to do that. And then maybe come back once you change your hair and we can talk business. But as of now, I can't. It just I don't mean to make you uncomfortable, but it's just the way we do things around here. I don't want anyone, being looking different from how we run things here. But like I said, you were awesome. You had everything you needed. Yeah, you heard it right. This is the line that a lot of people of color hear when they go in and get an interview done. It's not the words you want to hear. And I'm sure you can imagine the embarrassment and having to walk out with your head down and just thinking about, oh, well, how am I going to get this job that I've been striving for so long? You literally just had your foot in the door and they just closed it on you because your hair wasn't how they wanted it to be. Too many times, Black people feel this pain. So today, I'm going to talk to you all about why I feel Black hair should be respected and accepted in both in all areas of America, but especially in the workforce and in the schooling system. TheCrownAct.com is actually where I found out where the Crown Act movement started. So this movement started in 2019, and since then it's been going for a year now, and it's not that long actually. And I feel like it should have been even started way before now, but we'll get into that as we go on. So what I'm going to be talking about today is hair discrimination in America, the Crown Act itself, and also why you shouldn't separate the hair, natural hair, from the person that roots it. So for my first topic, I'm going to talk about history of hair discrimination in America. It's been going on for years, and it started when the first slaves came to America because they were different, definitely different. You had Caucasian people, white people, meeting with Black people that looked totally different from them. So, of course, you're going to have very different views, and you see how that went with history. But like I said, with the slaves, when they came over here, let's talk about the women, not to leave the men out, but most of the time men were to cut their hair off in slavery times. Yeah, it was very seldom that you heard about a man keeping his hair long. If he did have long hair, he had to tie it up just like the women did. So Black women were told to tie their hair up and hide it and conceal it or pin it up or do away with it. They didn't want it to be out and free and wild because they felt it was an eyesore, and the masters didn't want to look at them that way. So they told them to hide it. And even if you were a house slave, they had to actually conform too. A lot of people think that they had it better. Nobody had it better as a slave, but they also had to conform, and they even were forced to pin their hair up in order to model the slave master's wives' hair, in order to look more presentable to the masters. NPS.gov stated that the Tignon Law, if you've never heard of it, now you have, it actually started in New Orleans in the 1700s, and this law was in particular, for colored people. And it was mostly for women, and the law was this. When you go out in public, you have to have your hair covered by hairdressing. There was no excuses, nothing. You had to have your hair covered because they felt, and this was by law, that it was an eyesore and that you cannot have your natural hair out because nobody wanted to see that and it was unprofessional. And that's how it was. It was poison to the mind. It was poison to the mind, honestly. It really was. And presently, things haven't really changed, honestly. To this day, like I started with, when you go in for a job as a colored person, a lot of times they don't even observe your resume first. They observe your hair. And if your hair isn't right, forget about the job. Forget about it. Maybe you can work fast food. Even then, chances are slim. There's even like a rumor that goes around, even when I was growing up, about if you had dread, I don't even want to call them dreads. If you had locks, that the locks were actually looked at as something that you wouldn't get hired if you have dreadlocks. They wouldn't hire you. So as soon as you go out to be of age to get a job, you need to cut those off because it's not of standard. And a lot of people of color live by that to this day. It just shows how deeply rooted hair discrimination is in Black people, which is very sad. Which brings me to my next point, which is why all these reasons are why the Crown Act was finally put into action last year. Um, Currently, actually, only 7 states have adopted this law. Only 7. Remember, there's 50 here. There's a lot more work to be done, but it's a start. You have to start somewhere, right? So, with that being said, there was actually an article that I read, and this was an article from Senator Holly Mitchell, and she was talking to Good Morning America, and she said, recognizing natural hair, recognizing natural hair um, is as a race-based trait is actually a sign that it is something that should be protected because it's something that goes with our culture, and as a result, something that is attached to your culture should be protected by law because we have laws that protect your culture, right? But for some reason, hair has skipped over that for some reason. So not including hair in discrimination is wrong. I want you all to know that. Hair is our culture. Like I said, hair is a part of us. Hair is what makes us original. And we should never have to explain as colored people why our hair should be accepted because it is something that we were born with and it's something that we cannot change because it's who we are. And it's honestly sad that we have to beg people to accept us. Which brings me to my next point, and why we shouldn't separate natural hair from the person that, why we shouldn't separate natural hair, sorry, from the person that roots it. Hair is a part of us, like I said, and it comes included in all that we do, meaning no matter how your hair looks, these are my images. No matter how your hair looks, it should never define who you are because no, even if you cut your hair off, it still doesn't define it. So as long as you are upkeeping your hair, and that doesn't even matter. Let's just keep it plain and simple. Your hair is your hair. It doesn't define who you are. Hair is not attached to how you think, how you process things, none of that. It's just a part of what makes you you. And a lot of times, our hair, we're forced to fake it till we make it, basically. And a lot of times, colored people go into work with their hair straightened and with weaves installed in order to better fit into the office space because they know, like this picture portrays, how people will treat you throughout the day. They'll say, "Oh, can I touch your hair? Oh, can I? How much did your hair cost to do that? Or did you comb your hair today?" Yeah, you can just imagine how those questions will make you feel. So that's a lot of reasons why people conceal who they are in order to get where they want to be. Because in order to get into the door, sometimes a lot of colored people have to disguise who they are in order to get their foot in the door. And then once you're in, you have to keep that disguise on because if you take it off, yeah, they might fire you. So that's just how that works. It's not right, but we're starting with this Crown Act to get this discrimination out of America because it does hurt us. And I like to also include, I was reading an article from the Washington Post, and it was about a Black woman's experience with one of her white colleagues. And the situation was the white colleague was to pick between two people to hire. They were both Black women, great Black women, fit for the job. It was a board job, actually. And the Black woman said, "Which one would you choose?" And she chose the lady with the straight hair as opposed to the locks. And the Black lady asked her, "Why did you choose her?" And she said because the straight hair was more clean cut and she fit the bill better. And that just goes to show how it can work in a situation where there is a black woman or a black man out to get a job and a white person out to get a job. Who do you think they would have hired in that situation? The black woman or man with the natural hair or the white person that will fit the bill better? This is what I mean. Discrimination hidden in plain sight, even when you're considering your hair. This is America. In conclusion, I want to leave you all with this. Please respect and accept our black hair. Okay? We should never have to conform to any of societal's views. We should just be able to be us and be accepted because we are good enough. And remember, hair biases are in fact discrimination, no matter how you slice it. And I want you to remember all that I talked about today. The history of hair discrimination in America and how it started, and the Crown Act, where we are currently today and what we're doing with the movement. And why you shouldn't separate the person, the natural hair on the person, and the person itself. It all comes together. And also, I want to remind you guys and tell you guys about the Crown Act actually has a petition on their website that you can go to and support the movement yourself and be a part of it and help out America. And all you have to do is go to their website, sign the petition, and it helps to encourage legislatures and Congress to sign the bill and get it approved in the various states that don't have the act already. And thank you. And I want you guys to remember this one thing. Remember to put yourself in someone else's shoes. In this situation, if you don't want somebody to define you from your hair and hire or fire you based on that, don't do it to others. Thank you. That might have been good. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.